As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be
Oh
a
man,
home
it's
run.
8 o'clock.
And so that'll make it a...
I don't need the spotlight. I shine just fine.
Hi, I'm Karma, and yes, I am a bitch.
Brav Bros. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Brav Bros, your favorite podcast from the bros for everybody, for whoever wants to listen. I am your co-host, Steele Russell, joined as always by the one and only Dim Room McGroom. What's up, dude?
Another remote recording sesh for the boys, and this will be the last one of the week. We'll get back to regular programming after this, but we know you guys love it. I actually had to change a little bit. I'm in, as Steele called it, a little bit of a sex chair right now.
That's
Just
what I
enjoy
call
myself.
it. I just
Yeah.
don't like the way it swivels, and I think it's more the way you're sitting is making
I'm relaxed.
I'm uncomfortable. So do with that what you will. I'm glad you're relaxed. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm uneasy because of you.
Are you uneasy because of me or because you've been eating so much barbecue down there?
So I only ate barbecue once, but it was tonight. And look, when you're in the Northeast and you grew up on good barbecue in the South, when you come back, you have to hit your spots. So the big three for me when I come to Texas is barbecue, Whataburger, and good Tex-Mex, because I can't get any of those three in Philly. There's one good spot in Philly called Mike's Barbecue in South Philly. It's actually really, really good. Other than that, I am underwhelmed by barbecue there. So when I come here, I go above and beyond. And there's a place called Stanley's Pit Barbecue in Tyler, Texas, that's pretty solid. So I got a half a pound of brisket, half a pound of spicy sausage, half a pound of chicken, and then I got a brisket, sausage, and pulled pork sandwich. That was all one sandwich, and I ate
Yep.
all of that. And I
How
also
many pounds were in the sandwich?
I'm
I'm
one.
counting pounds over here.
I ate two and a half pounds of meat. Yeah. I don't feel great. It was totally worth it, but I'm pretty full. And yeah. But again, you gotta hit your spots, and that's my thing. I'm a culinary guy, so I gotta get the food.
If you're watching on YouTube, you might be able to see Steele break out into his meat sweats in about a half an hour.
You'd be surprised. It takes a lot for your boy to get the meat sweats. I've eaten
Okay.
much more than that. I did that when I played baseball in Australia. I did a it was a 90-ounce steak challenge with a half a pound of chips, which is French fries in Australia.
I feel like you just said Australia weird too.
Down under.
You did the accent like mid-word. Yeah.
Yeah, chips. Have some chippies. But no, I ate the steak, no problem. The French fries smoked me. The starch after the steak was impossible. But I got down 90 ounces of red meat, one sitting, and probably could have eaten more. I'm a steak fiend, bro. Steak, brisket, meat. I'm a meat guy.
You're
Big
a meat
guy over here. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm proud. Yeah. You make whatever joke you want. I'll wear a fucking badge.
I'm not
Big
making any
meat guy.
jokes.
But yeah, so we had a double header tonight for Pop, and it got rained out, thunderstorms in the area, so we went and had a barbecue date instead, and it was lovely. We had a lovely time. But we're not here to talk about barbecue. We're here to talk about the Valley, and things are heating up and getting smoky over there. So,
oh God.
Look, we have to record these late.
I know we have to record them late, and it's actually weirdly enough, it's not off topic because there is some grilling going on in this episode. So it kind of all comes together. It works out well.
Full circle. We like to go full circle.
We like to go full circle.
Bros. Let's just talk about the Valley, because that's why we're here to talk about the Valley. But before we get into that, I want to give you guys a quick reminder. We have started Brav Bros members. It is $5 for the month or $50 for the year. If you have not signed up yet, the link is in our bio. It is also at the end of the show notes, like the description of this show or episode. You can click on that to sign up as well. What it is, it's a chance to give back to you guys and give you guys what you want. And what that means is we're going to be doing exclusive episodes. We want to do a rom-com series once we hit 250 members. We're already at 150. So we're getting close to that 250. We're going to start a little counter. We're also going to include a weekly email, a monthly Zoom where every member can jump onto a Zoom, talk to us. You can ask questions, shoot the shit, whatever you want to talk about. We are there at your disposal. And the best thing about this is it opens the door for new ideas where this show is going. We can branch out a little bit, explore some different shows. We want to watch what you guys are watching. We love you guys. This is all about you. So, this is a chance to interact with the bros more.
That's all it is. That's all we want. We want to talk to you guys and find out what you guys want us to do. Because at the end of the day, we're going to do whatever you guys want to do. Honestly, we'll watch anything.
We will. We already do. We have a very wide scope of
Yeah.
things that we like to view.
Yeah, I
We're
mean, in
content
particular,
fiends.
I'm really excited about. I don't know if you've heard of this. It's called House of the Dragon. It's coming
Oh
out in
yeah,
2 weeks, 3 weeks. So
interesting.
it's a weird one. Yeah, it kind of times up perfectly with right around when we would get maybe close to 250. So we're just saying, just throwing it out there. Could be fun.
Just an idea, guys.
Could
A
be
little
fun.
Targaryen talk. Who knows? Little Rhaegar drama. I don't know.
It wouldn't be Rhaegar drama, dude. Come on, get your fucking Targaryens together.
I'm just throwing names out there. I I get so confused because the show's so fucking big and there's so many people that I just remember names and I'm like, yeah, he's probably in that one. Huge fan of the show, but my brain sucks. I think I
Oh
drank my
god.
short-term memory away. So
Yeah,
this is
probably.
what you got.
Yeah.
This is what you're left with. And without further ado, it's Valley time. So let's jump right into this episode. And overall, this season hasn't had a dud. Like we
No,
have not hit a dud episode, and that is tough to do, honestly.
it is really tough to do. I think like we had that we didn't even have a lull. Like we talk about that where whether it's a housewife show, Southern Charm, Summer House, whatever it might be, this show is just hitting on all cylinders and we keep waiting for the other shoe to drop or waiting for something to happen that we're not going to like or we're going to get bored of or we're just going to completely stop watching for some of these shows. And for this, I feel like every week there's something else and there's another dynamic that gets thrown into it or somebody else is fighting or we're watching another marriage crumble. I mean, yeah, it doesn't look fun to be on the show, but it's very fun for us to watch it.
It is, and I think a big part of it is it feels genuine. Like I know a lot of it's kind of dark, and we're watching some marriages fall apart, and we're watching some not fun stuff, like
Yeah.
for them, obviously. But the reality of it, right? The reality of this reality TV show, especially because we've been overshadowed with production over the last couple of shows we've been following, which has been really frustrating. So to see one that seems pretty void of production other than, Jax and Dodie, but what they're doing is more, I don't know, they're keeping it close to their chest because they're just trying to move chess pieces versus, oh, I'm going to fabricate an entire storyline and make up some fake drama. They actually have rumors. They're just waiting for the right time for that shoe to drop. So it's been extremely enjoyable. I never thought I'd be saying this. Like we are 100% eating our words from pre-Valley season to
Yep.
now, but I'm just thrilled this show's doing as well as it is.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, a couple of weeks ago when they announced that they were renewing for a second season, who would have thought that we would have been excited about that? And who
Not
would have
me.
thought that the only reason that we might not be excited about that is because they're touching the cast. They're changing the cast a little bit, and we don't even know if they're doing that. But we are not excited about that. We're like, leave them alone. They're great as is. Never thought that I would have said that.
Well, no, it's the premise or the idea that they're going to add VPR cast members into this
Yeah.
show. And like before the show aired, we'd be like, oh, yeah, bring some of them over. They'll make it better. Now it's like, oh my God, don't bring any Vanderpump members
No.
over because they're going to ruin this. The show's
They're-
fine.
Yeah.
Don't, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Just leave it alone. But let's jump into this. And we start out with Jackson Michelle. It's the ending of that conversation. And I predicted it last week. I knew that was a run on sentence. I knew that wasn't just flat out like, yeah, I am texting other guys. Like I knew there
Yeah.
was more to that story. And it's exactly what I thought she was going to say, where it's like, oh no, like we run a business. This is how real estate works. You meet a client and yeah, of course I'm texting him. Of course I'm trying to put feelers out there. Nuh-uh.
It's
There's no
still
way.
Yeah, it still stinks. It stinks to high
Yes.
heavens. Like the way that she answered it, the way that she addressed it, she wasn't even like angry. Like you would imagine, and we've talked about this before, whenever there's rumors going, you can always tell by someone's reaction to a rumor about them. We've heard a lot of rumors about what's going on with different people. And if their reaction is, what the fuck? Like, why would anybody say that? No, that's not what's going on. If it's anything but that, then it's probably true. And this is one of the weird times where I fully agree with Jax when he goes to his confessional and he goes, you know what? I've been around a lot of rumors. Yes, you have, Jax. A lot of those rumors have to do with you. And if you sit here and tell us when there's or where there's smoke, there's fire, one, that confirms the rumors that are about you. Two, you're also confirming, yeah, there's definitely something stinky about what's going on here with Michelle.
100%. And the fact like she's using the celebrity out of it to
Yeah.
make it seem like it's not as bad. It's
Fucking
like,
Tarantino
oh,
out there.
yeah, dude, Tarantino's getting feet pics from Michelle. And for those that don't know, Tarantino has a weird foot thing. Just watch his movies, you'll notice. Watch
Yeah.
From Dusk Till Dawn and Selma Hayek in that.
Or
That
or
explains his
watch
foot thing.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where Margot Robbie's shoeless the entire time. Yeah.
Yeah, either or. He's a big foot guy, so that's where little see, we consume a lot
Little
of content.
tidbit, yeah.
Yeah, a little tidbit about Tarantino there. But the whole thing is you're right. It stinks. It stinks to high heaven. There's no way that this is all that's going on. And I don't know. She even her reaction to it, as you said, because I would say there is a level to it where if it's a too visceral of a reaction, it's like, oh, you're overdoing it.
Yep.
She just seems so blasé, just like, nah, like that didn't seem legit at all.
And it's not
So
like, and like we know Dodie and we know that she's messy with the things that she says. And again,
this
this isn't
wasn't
just
Dodie.
I know, but like Dodie was saying it at some point. So even if it's coming from Jack saying that Dodie was saying it, you could see on some level that Michelle might be like, all right, it's coming from Dodie. She's just making this up. Most of the time when Dodie blurts something out, it is true.
Yeah.
It's
Or at least
just
there's
that
a semblance of truth to
yeah,
it.
there's something going on there. And for her to continue down this path where you've got Dodie talking about it and blurting it out, Jax and Brittany are talking about it to other people. Janet wants to know more than anything. Like, she doesn't care about what's going on with the baby moon. She just wants to know what's going on in the rumors. And
Yeah.
like, there's got to be some sort of truth to it. And for her to sit there and not deny it like vehemently is insane.
Yeah, I agree. But I guarantee we'll get more on that. There's no way that's the end of that story. But
Yeah.
we move on from there. We get Jackson Brittany, the first of many very honestly uncomfortable interactions to watch. And I actually have a big issue with the rest of the cast in this house
Yeah.
for the duration of this trip. And we'll get into that more later. But he opens the door and he's like, you're the only one throwing up and you're always drinking. Why can't you just like be normal? No one else is doing this. It's like, dude, everyone has already vouched for her once. We're going to see them vouch for her time and time again throughout this. I'm 100% now under the guise that he is doing this to make it seem like she has a drinking problem so that when the relationship inevitably falls apart, which it already has, he's going to lean on that. Well, she couldn't control her drinking. It's like,
Yep.
Maybe she gets sick from drinking and maybe she shouldn't because it makes her stomach fucked up. I don't know. But to use it more as like she has like an alcoholic drinking problem, we're not seeing that. In this moment, we're not seeing that. And the way he's going at her, it's uncomfortable, dude. Like it honestly just pissed me off.
Yeah, no, it did the same thing to me. I mean, we've heard from multiple people she wasn't drinking, and it was really uncomfortable to watch her last week in the car try to explain to all of her friends, make sure that Jax doesn't know about this because he's just going to think that I was drinking and I'm drunk. And what it really comes down to for me is, yeah, I mean, do I think that she drinks too much? Sure. But I think that a really big part of this, and she kind of cracks it a little bit towards the end of the episode, is the stress that comes along with it. Like, yeah, that's got to be a double-edged sword where one, you're stressed the fuck out. And when you start drinking, you get more stressed out, but maybe the drinking helps a little bit because you get to forget about it. And it just goes around and around and around. And like, there's reports that she has stomach ulcers from all of this. That's stress induced as well. So if you have somebody like Jax who's going to jump down your throat every time that you drink and going to call you a bad mom and sort of insinuate that we shouldn't have another kid because you're just going to keep drinking and be a terrible mother, like, yeah, that's going to bring up a ton of stress and you're not going to want to do that.
That's just the easiest cop out for Jax to use, by the way. Him saying that the root of it is he doesn't want to have another kid. That's all.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, I'm going to use this against her and make her feel like shit because that's what I do because I'm Jax Taylor. But we get to Jesse and Michelle and they are talking about what Jax has just told Michelle. Michelle calls Jesse upstairs. Hey, we need to have a quick chat. I actually like that Jesse just goes straight to the source. He goes, Jax, come up here. Like, we need Jax. I'm not doing this down the line thing anymore. Like, we're not playing telephone tag. Get him up here. Let's figure this shit out.
Yeah,
Jax,
but at the same time, that says a lot about their marriage. Where Michelle's
1000%.
up there talking to him like he doesn't want to talk to his wife about this.
Yeah,
he
no,
wants
you're
to
right.
talk to Jax about it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're 100% correct. That is a testament to their marriage
You
and
know
how
what?
to get one.
You know what, babe? I'm not going to listen to you. Let's get Jackson here.
I don't really trust you. So let's get Jax, the most trustworthy guy in the house. Let's get him up
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
But Jax explains the situation, and I'm pretty sure that he could have said that he found the pictures, and Jesse would have been like, nope, no big deal, because Jesse is trying to hold on for dear life to this marriage. So I think that he was so ready to dismiss whatever claims were given to him that when he hears this, he's just like, nah, I don't believe it. Like Michelle
Yeah.
says didn't happen. And also, by the way, Kristen's not a businesswoman. She doesn't know how this works.
I love
What?
that. I love that spin. She's not a businesswoman. She's not a career-driven woman. She doesn't know how this works. No, you don't send pictures of anything to anyone that you're meeting. I don't care what profession you're in. That's bizarre. But I did really battle with this because in the first scene with Michelle talking to Jax, I'm thinking the entire time that it goes back to my original theory of they broke up before the show even started filming and they're letting this unfold. But now I'm doubting that because of the way that Jesse's acting. Jesse is erratic. When she
He's a
walks
wreck.
in and she starts talking about it, he wants Jax to come in. When Jax comes in and he's talking about it, and we always know how Jax has like such a structured plan, like a strategy for dropping in this sort of rumor where he's like,
Mhm.
I really don't want to do this. I don't even know for sure. And then he like says half of it and then he stops. And Jesse's like jumping at him, like, all right, was it fucking true? Like, is this what's going on? Are you doing this? Are you doing this? And she's like, no, of course not. And then he completely takes a step back and he goes, all right, cool. No, I believe you. Yeah, Kristen's the fucking one to blame here. So he's all over the place. Like, I don't know if he hates his wife and he's gonna blame her. I don't know if he hates Jax for doing this. I don't know if he hates Dodie or hates himself. Like he's just all over the place. I can't really tell.
You just cut out, and I don't know how much of that was recorded. You came
No,
back in.
it
Were
stepped
you still rolling?
it kept going, yeah.
Okay, cool. All
Yeah.
right, we'll just keep rolling. That's
Okay.
the next scene anyway.
Yeah.
So I'll I'll figure it out when I
Yeah.
edit it.
No.
But moving on from there, we get a recap of like the Jesse and the Danny drama from last week. Jesse got way too physical at the beach. No, he wasn't like physically assaulting and abusing Danny, but he takes it. There's guys like this, and we know guys like this, that they get drunk and they get like punchy and wrestly, and it's fucking annoying and it's
Yep.
stupid. And no one likes hanging out with those guys. Every straight dude in the world has this friend, and they
Yep.
hate getting drunk with them. So
Usually
we
you
know.
have them in high school, not
Yes,
as an adult, not at 42.
42-year-old man.
Yeah.
No, you don't. Like, it's ridiculous. So the fact that Danny's upset, I think, is warranted. But I think, and then we find out a little bit later, he's got a lot going on. I think it was more a combination of everything, and that was just like a stressor, and everyone had been drinking, and that was just a little bit of a trigger for him, where he's like pushed him over the edge. And all he wanted was an apology in the van on the ride back. And then he got
Mhm.
Jesse be like, quit being a pussy, pretty much. And that, I think, was just, it was like the perfect combination of shit to just send him over the edge. But Jesse does come down and give him a hug. He apologizes to him. They're able to move past it. It's not the end of the world. It wasn't that big of a deal. I think it pointed to more that was going on there. But we do get a quick check in with Michelle and Nia. And I guess Michelle actually did show them a house in Santa Clarita because that's where Danny wants to move. Nia does not, because she already feels isolated in her postpartum battle that she's going through right now. She already feels isolated in raising the kids, like all these different things. So she wants to feel connected. She says, Danny, I think that he hears me, but he's not acknowledging me. So it's going to be interesting to see. They seem just so lovely together that I
They
think
do.
they'll figure this one out. I don't think it's the end of the world. I'm sure they'll have a conversation about this. I have high hopes for those two. So if they
Yeah.
break my heart, I might quit TV because I can't handle it.
No, I had originally thought when she said she wanted to stay connected and she wanted to stay in the area, I'm like, who with who? With who is very important to me. Because if you're
Yeah.
talking about other friends that are off of the show, fine. If you're talking about family off of the show, perfect. Do not stay connected to these fucking assholes. All of
Yeah,
these
right.
idiots on the show, you do not want to stay connected to them. If you want to have a good family and a good marriage and everything, go ahead and go out to Santa Clarita. Because as we found out, it's what, 25, 30 minutes away? Is that big of a deal?
Somebody DM'd us and said, they were close enough proximity to this whole thing to be like,
Yeah.
it's like 45 to an hour with traffic. Realistically, it's not that easy of a drive,
There's always
according to them.
traffic.
That's LA. So yeah, of course there's traffic. It's traffic 24/7. But that was somebody that lives there that said like, no, it's not that easy. It's kind of a pain in the ass. So
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, whatever. You live in LA, Santa Clarita, who gives a shit?
Yeah,
But
we need a fact checker on this. We need to do some digging up.
maybe we should fly out there and just do the drive
Go
ourselves.
to the house.
Oh no, I'll call Brooks.
Go to someone's.
I'll call Brooks. He'll know. Yo, how hard is it to get to Santa Clarita from the Valley?
Hey
And he can
Brooks,
tell, or LA.
can you drive to the Valley, and then I want you to drive to Santa Clarita and back, and tell
Yeah,
me
I know
which
you're
way is which.
super
Yeah,
busy, but could you please do this for us?
yeah,
Because we need to know. But
that'd be great.
we get a dude scene outside, and two different takeaways from this. Okay, so it was a very emotional moment. They all start kind of breaking down. This is a lot of men under a lot of stress. A lot of it is self-inflicted. So
Yeah,
there's not a whole lot of sympathy there.
at least half of it is. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. There's another voice crack.
I
Hey,
know, dude. It's been
did you
cracking
hit
the whole
puberty?
time. I went on a walk today. I was walking around my neighborhood, and I yelled someone, and my voice cracked. I just don't know what's
No,
going
that's
on.
the worst. The
Yeah,
yell
dude.
crack is like,
I think I'm going.
hey,
I think I'm going through puberty again. I don't know what's going on.
congratulations.
Thank you. I know. A lot
Maybe
of
your
fun.
mustache will get thicker. But
That would be nice.
in this scene, we get Danny's upset, obviously, because of what had happened earlier, but he's over that. And, Jesse's apology in this moment was really funny, actually, because he's like, I thought you were thick skinned, and you're not. You're just not. I was like, that's not the way to do that. But they all then show their admiration for Danny, which is true. Like, he is clearly the best guy in this group as far as moral compass, taking care of his family, his wife, everything. Like, he's a solid guy. And they all
Yeah.
recognize that, which is actually really cool to hear everybody say those things. But look, I know he's under a lot of stress, and it's totally valid. And like the changing the diapers, and I'm up every 2 hours putting babies on boobs, this and that. Totally get it. Like, that's a shitload of stuff you got going on. Super stressful. The only part that I was like, is when they're like, and I bet you get no recognition for it, no appreciation. It's like, guys, pump the brakes, because
Yep.
they're doing the same shit that you are. If not, sorry, they're doing the same shit and more, right?
Yeah.
So Nia's feeding the children via breastfeeding. Like, everything you're going through, they're also doing. So it's not one of those where it's like, hey, give me a pat on the back. They're going through it too. That might be something that'll fall through the cracks, is like appreciation for the other person doing what they need to do. That part I didn't agree with, but being
Yeah,
under a ton of stress.
you're
Go ahead.
talking to two guys whose marriages are failing, mostly because
Correct.
of
Yeah.
their actions. Now,
Yeah.
we're still not really sure. The jury's kind of out on what's going on with Jesse and Michelle, whether whose fault it is. They're both assholes, so you can say that they're both at fault. Whatever. Jax and Jesse are not the people that should be saying this, but they're also, much like we talked about how Jesse's the guy who's going to be physical and like grab you on the beach and like put you in a
Mhm.
headlock. They're also the guys that are going to go out on a guy's night and be like, "Oh yeah, this is so nice because I don't have my wife nagging at me. Don't ever get
Yes.
married." Am I right? Like, they go to their 16-year-old nephew and they're like, "Hey man, don't ever get married. Am I right?"
They're
And then
those
you
guys.
walk away. Like, yeah, they're absolutely those guys. And they're doing it to Danny, who's, you just told him that he's a great father and he's doing all these things. Now you're negging his wife, and Jason's sitting across the room looking at it like, I'm about to have a kid, you fucking morons. Like, this is my baby moon. Like, the next thing you know, I'm going to be a father. So
Jason,
just
yeah.
don't.
That was actually really funny to just watch him sit there like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
What's
But
about to
again,
happen?
yeah, don't put any emphasis on what Jax and Jesse are saying.
No, they're the worst two guys in the world to take this advice from. And the one thing that you can take away from this is, like, yes, like Danny, that's a lot of stress. And yes, he's doing a whole lot to help out around the house. I don't
Yep.
think that you need a pat on the back from your wife. She's also doing the same amount plus a lot more. So that's the only part I didn't agree with. But I do like when men get emotional on TV and vulnerable. And I want to point that out, because I do feel like it's still a stigmatized thing, like dudes breaking down and having like a bro down where it's like,
Yeah.
hey man, I need to talk to you. Hey man, I want to hear what you have to say. I'm going to shed a tear. You know what? I'm going to cry too. Let's hug it out. That's some good shit. So I want some more of that on TV. I like seeing those moments a lot, because look, we have feelings too, man.
Yeah.
Okay. I know everyone in this podcast knows I do, because I cry way too much, but you know what I'm saying. You get it. But Janet comes outside, and this I'm just chalking up to a miscommunication, and she's also pregnant and very hungry. So I'm not faulting her for her reaction. I'm not faulting the dudes either, because in that moment you have two grown men
Well,
crying and hugging each other, and they're like, oh, Jesse's
Jesse,
shushing her is wrong.
yeah.
Yes, that's true. Yes. The words used were incorrect, but I think that it was just an abrupt, like, ah, shit, no, you're not supposed to see this side of us. Get
Yeah.
out of here. That's what I got from it. And then you have Janet who, goes upstairs. She's pregnant, starving, fed up. So, like, that whole scene's a wash for me as far as that part goes. Dinner is ready somehow. I'm not sure who cooked what or who was cooking where. The girls fired up the grill. They got the burgers done. Janet was inside slinging a bunch of shit. So they got everything together. While they're in the kitchen, Jax takes it upon himself to say, thanks for helping everyone, unlike Brittany, because she's drunk. Half the people go, she's not drunk, she's car sick. Then they're asking, well, how's she feeling? He's like, I don't know. I'm not dealing with that shit. Dude, this is your wife. This is your wife. And then he starts giving everyone the third degree again and talking to the women in the room like he's talking to the dudes. He's like, shut up. I'm going to ask this. You tell me what. This is my big issue. And this is something that has pissed me off about Jax Taylor for a long time. And I will never understand it. I don't get why he gets a pass to talk to people like this. Across the board in other shows, across the board in life, when people treat people like this, when they talk to women like this, people check them. They call them for their bullshit. It's like he gets a pass because we know he's Jax Taylor and we know he's a huge piece of shit. I'm done with it. I'm really done with it. The fact that none of these guys in the house were able to step up in the moment that he's yelling at his wife and banging the door and talking shit and dragging her in front of the entire friend group. Not one guy can stand up and go, yo, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, that's your wife and she's right there. You guys handle this shit on your own. Stop bringing us into it. Stop embarrassing her in front of us. I'm so disappointed in the cast, not just the men. Everybody there is a party to that. Like, that was bullshit. The way he was talking to her was not cool. It was uncomfortable. I can't imagine sitting in that room and allowing that to occur, or at least not trying to intervene and being like, dude, stop it. Like, this is ridiculous. That is your wife. That's the mother of your child. And you're trying to make her look like she's a raging alcoholic, irresponsible, and just like a piece of shit that can't get out of bed. It was so gross. And everyone just kind of nods along because it's Jax Taylor. People are watching at home like, oh, it's just Jax being Jax. Like, I'm fucking done with it. That guy sucks.
Yeah.
I want to challenge him to a rough and rowdy.
That's
what I would love to do.
You've said that before.
About Sandoval. Now I want Jax. I want Jax in the ring.
Would you do
an
2-on-1?
Exhibition? I would do one after the other, yeah, because I'm pretty sure I'd knock Tom out in a heartbeat.
Both at the same time.
Is it like a tag match? Like one at a time, but both at the same time? Or are they both me versus two of them at once? Because I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah, at once.
Yeah, no, probably not. No, one after the other, yeah, I got them.
You got to train.
I'm pretty damn confident, but I do. I box 2 to 3 times a week, bro. I'm fucking ready. I am so ready for this. All I needed is for them to hear this and be like, fine, we're in. And we'll line it up. We know people at Barstool. We can set it up. Like, this is a real thing. I'm going to keep doing this till it happens. You know that.
God. You would think, though, at some point. Now, I get it. Like, for the women in the room, you're just trying to have Kristen's back, you're just trying to have Brittany's back the entire time. Everything that Jax is saying, you're like, dude, she wasn't drunk. She wasn't drunk. She wasn't drunk. The way that he's talking to the girls, you would think one of the husbands would at least stand up for their wives.
That's what I'm
Not
saying.
only are they're not standing up for Brittany, who's sick in bed. You're not listening to your wife. And this douchebag is yelling at your wife, and you're not going to just step in and be like, dude, fuck off. Go away. Go sit in a different room. Like, you don't want to be with your wife because you hate your fucking life. Go somewhere else. Go sit on the deck by yourself for a while. We don't want to talk to you. You can't deal with this right now. Like, somebody just do something, because it's insane. Like, he's been ringleading all of the rumors that have been going on, and everybody knows it too. Every confessional that we get, everybody's questioning Jax. Everybody's talking about Jax, but they're like targeting Dodie for some reason, who's not even there. You have Jax right in front of you, belittling your wife, belittling his own wife beyond belief, and you're not going to step up and say anything. Like, I just don't understand any of it.
It was unacceptable. Honestly, I didn't care for it at all.
Yeah.
I didn't think we needed it. Like, I'm glad we saw it because I just like when Jax gets outed for being who he is. But it's one of those moments where it's like, oh, bro, like, this sucks. Yeah. This isn't fun to watch. But the good thing is the girls have recognized, I think, Brittany, I would imagine the actual turning point that I think that we can see Brittany's like, wow, this is not cool. Like, this is a shitty situation that I think I need to get out of. I think this was like the tipping point of the separation probably. But the girls do say to her, like, hey, this needs to change. Like, this is not good. This is bad. Like, it's not even like, oh, you guys argue. Like, this is bad. You got to get the fuck out of here. Something's got to give. So I think I wrote in my notebook, Brittany's starting to wake up. And I think that we are getting that. So if that's what comes out of this is the separation that we got, great. Like, great.
Good for her. Smart move.
Yeah, seriously. But, the funniest part is they suggest therapy. And I thought it was interesting that Jack says therapy doesn't work on me. Do you know who therapy doesn't work on? This is
Sociopaths.
real. Sociopaths and
Yeah.
narcissists and psychos. That's real. They
Yeah.
cannot be therapized.
Therapized, yeah.
They're
Nope, you had it right. You were right.
therapized.
Stop. Why do you have to do it? You had it right the first time.
Is therapized? That's not a word.
Yeah, yes it is.
Therapized?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Therapized is not a word. Oh, you're an asshole.
It is now.
I think therapized is better. And you shot that down. Either or. But yeah, that's just an interesting thing to note. That's the only people that theropathy doesn't work on.
Yeah, therapized.
Yeah, therapicize me.
Yeah, no, it sounds like circumcised. I'm out.
What the fuck? Oh my
I'm
God,
out.
you're an idiot. Let's move forward. You got to take it there. Yeah, I wasn't saying that.
He's got to
But
go.
Jason and Janet confirms that Brittany had not drank. And when they start going back and forth again, and by back and forth, I mean Jack's berating his wife through a door and slamming the door and all that shit. She finally says, I had 2 drinks all day. So for that, it's like, all right, maybe your stomach doesn't agree with booze if that's why you're getting sick. I'm 100% in the belief that this is stress induced. This is a shitty marriage. She feels bad about herself, bad about her life, bad about her marriage. She's stressed constantly. She's worried. I think that's leading to all of these issues. I don't think it's alcohol centric. I definitely don't see an alcoholic drinking problem from what I've watched on this show. Obviously, there's more depth to that. I can't speak on that. Nobody can. But I think that he's using this to his advantage. He, as we know, self-proclaimed, he looks 12 steps ahead.
Yep.
No pun intended. But like he's planning his next move. So he's clearly planning on how to get out of this thing scot-free. And that's how he's trying to do it, by painting her as this raging alcoholic that can't take care of herself or the kids. So how is he supposed to stay?
You know what's really not funny, haha, but you know what's very funny about this? That would work if you weren't on a TV show. You could convince people because people have seen Brittany drunk and they understand. And if you're telling people, okay, yeah, no, I've seen her drunk before. She's been very open about the fact that she just throws up all the time. Like, yeah, she's kind of a mess. Maybe you had to get out of there, Jax. You're on a TV show. Like, we're seeing this and we're seeing all of the evidence of it. That's not the way to go about it. Like now nobody's going to be on your side. Nobody's going to believe you because we just watched this episode and we just realized what you do to her.
There shouldn't be sides. That's your wife. You're married.
Yeah.
That's the mother of your child.
I meant there's always sides with the Bravo fandom.
No, I know. No, I get that part.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the fact that Jax is trying to rally the troops behind him in a potential divorce is like, dude, you clearly don't care. Like that's what it comes down to. You don't care. This is a move. It's a chess piece. It's a pawn in your fucking stupid game. You think you're a genius and you're the biggest idiot in the room. And we have to sit there and watch you every week on a great show, by the way. I can't stress that enough. But we get a shady Instagram post from Zack, which was so not an issue. It was so not important. It was a zoomed out location tag of Big Bear. And you would have thought that Charles fucking Manson was in the trees waiting to kick the door down. Like way Janet reacted, I was like, dude, come on.
I thought this was such a great move by Zack. I loved it. I loved it. I thought it was so funny. I thought it was incredible. And you had the entire, what he planned on happening, it happened tenfold. The fact that Janet says that she was up all night worried that him and Dodie were, and she's like, you know what? Like if Zack showed up, I wouldn't be surprised. But just the idea that he would bring Dodie here, that had me up all night. Like, shut up, Janet. Like, I don't give a shit.
Sleep
You're such a baby. You want to be this like shady person that's not going to invite people to a cast trip on a Bravo TV show, but you're not going to be able to deal with this shit. Like it's funny, it's smart, it's petty, and you're going to stay up all night and act like, oh my God, I'm being victimized. I can't believe that they might show up. Like, are they hanging out? Like the right reaction to that is what I think Jesse or Danny or whoever said it in the morning. And they're like, yeah, I think I see Zack over there with his binoculars. He's actually spying on us right now. Like that's the way to go about it. Like you don't lose sleep over it, you weirdo.
He's not in the bushes, man. Like we know that. It's not hard to get a geotag from anywhere.
Janet
Like, it was
Janet pisses me
ridiculous.
off. Janet really
No,
pisses
she's
me off.
brutal.
Yeah.
She's brutal,
I
dude.
think at
And
this point, let's bring back Jason, but Janet, you know what? Just go somewhere else. And you know
while
what's
they're
gonna be
still
really funny about
married,
that? Yeah, while they're still married, Jason can stay on the show because Jason brings a different level to the show, and we'll talk about that later with what he does in the boat and what
intelligence.
he's been doing. Like he's just been hanging. Yeah, it's literally it's just intelligence. He's just been hanging out, listening to everything going on, and he goes right after people. He does the opposite of what his wife does. His
Yeah,
wife tries to
because
make all these little sneaky moves and hang out in the back and listen to all the gossip through her stupid minion boys that are just like running around. What the fuck's his name? Colin? I don't know his name.
I don't.
Simon.
Oh,
Simon.
Simon, the
Simon. Yeah.
pink boot,
Pink
fucking
Ugg boot guy.
asshole.
Yeah, like
No, pink
losers.
Crocs, pink Croc boots.
Yeah, whatever. Who cares? But
He's a
yeah,
dick.
no, that's what she wants to do. Like she just doesn't do it for me on the show. She's just too much. Like at least commit to a side. If you want to be petty and not invite them, laugh about it in the morning and be like, "Look at this loser posting this." Like I'd be
Right.
behind that. I'd be like, "You know what? Good for you. You're being consistent. Don't act like you're the victim now. That's
Yeah,
insane."
you can't throw shade and then
No.
back down when the shade is thrown back at you. And by the way, done much better. And that's what Zach
Yeah.
says. He says, "I'm petty with a purpose." And you know what? You are, sir. And well
Yep.
done. Very well executed.
Yep.
Zach has worked his way up to the top of my list of this show. He is fantastic.
Yep.
So bravo, Zach. Keep up the good work. I do need to point out Michelle hugged Jesse from behind for the first time. There's two things to this one. The first thing, it's very interesting that the first time you show that kind of affection towards Jesse is the day after Jax has this conversation with you about you sending sexy pics to Tarantino. We're just going to assume it's Tarantino, by the way.
Yeah, we are.
I thought that was interesting timing that now you're being lovey-dovey. On Jesse's side of things, I think that it's fucking dumb that every time she shows you more affection, you sexualize it.
You make a
Every
joke
time.
about it. Yeah. It's
I
just
think that's dumb.
so there's two ways to look at the Michelle aspect. One, she might actually feel affection towards him because he took her side last night instead of saying and like making it a big fight and talking to Michelle about it and actually asking her. It's slight chance because this is the only reason I'm saying this is because we've seen him make a lot of different efforts and
Yeah.
she is cold and emotionless the entire time. But this time she's doing it. So I'm like, maybe just a small percent chance, like 7%,
Who
that
are
maybe
you?
she's
You're
like,
never this guy.
maybe she's attracted to him now and she's like, whoa, he just stood up for me against Jax. He's not leading into this rumors. That's 7%, dude. Relax.
Okay.
It's fucking
All right.
7%.
I'm
90,
just confused. You're usually
93%.
not this guy.
93%. Well, I'm still this guy. 93% is that she absolutely sent naked pictures. And my thought is she's going up from behind because if she's in front of him, he can see her phone. So he can see if she's sending sexy pics.
There he is. There he is.
Yeah, I got to bring it
Lost you
back.
for a sec. Yeah. Oh, we got you back. But moving on, we get to the fishing boat, and the boys are going fishing while the girls are setting up for the surprise baby shower. And we had to explain what a Napoleon complex was. And every dude in this group should just take whatever Jason says as gospel. He is so much smarter than all of you. Like, I love Danny.
Don't
Danny's
argue
great.
with him. Yeah.
But yeah, dude, like, he's the smart guy. He's one of the smartest dudes on Bravo.
He might be the smartest, honestly.
He's top two. And I don't
Yeah.
know who the other one would be. But like, let's just assume that if Jason's speaking, it's true. And we don't have to Google it. When you're in a confessional months later, that's when
Yeah.
you Google Napoleon complex. But Jesse, out of nowhere, and this is just projection, I think, because
For
as
sure.
soon as he saw a door into Danny being like, "Oh, Nia doesn't appreciate this," because Jesse set that up the night before. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to keep prodding this a little bit," and he says, "You know, I think you're full of shit because Nia wears the pants, and that's not somebody that makes you feel confident." And I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!"
Yeah, no.
There's no pants in that relationship, which
No.
is the good thing. Like they are from everything we've seen, and obviously it's a small sample size, but they're a team. They work very well together. I don't see anybody like making demands of the other one. Again, this is what we've been given on TV, so we can't
Mhm.
speak in truths or like in absolutes. I mean, but that's not the couple to go after at all. And it was really random that he decided to set his sights on Danny. And I think that's just him like, fuck, my marriage is awful. These two seem to have it figured out. They're having a tough time right now because they got 3 under 2, understandably so. They're also looking at a move. There's a lot of things, a lot of balls up in the air. So like they are actually having real marriage problems as far like not their marriage is falling apart, but they're having tough times together and getting through it together. Are there going to be bumps in the road? Yes, there's going to be speed bumps, figuring shit out for sure. They're not falling apart. They don't need your 2 cents, Jesse, of all people. And then Jax decides to chime in and he says, Brittany wears the pants. I was like, what the fuck are you smoking? Are you kidding me? Brittany doesn't wear the pants. That poor girl does anything that you ask of her,
Yep.
gets berated by you. You apologize haphazardly, and then she's over it. She's finally seen the light, thank God. But
I didn't
neither
even
of
think
you.
this was like delusional either. That's the weirdest part. Like when Jack says stuff like that, it's a play. We know
Yeah.
that anything that comes out of Jax's mouth is some sort of play, some sort of strategy. I don't know what he's cooking up, but he's doing something. We don't know what the hell's going on in there. Ma, the meatloaf, what's she doing back there? That's Jax. Like I just never understand what he's up to. And he's always up to something. So I don't put anything into that. And you hit the nail on the head. Jesse is absolutely projecting. And he sees Danny and he sees a little in there, and misery loves company. My marriage is falling apart. I feel like this guy just had a breakdown last night. The only reason that Danny had a breakdown is because he's going through a lot. He's got 3 under 2. He's got Nia who's dealing with postpartum. There's a lot going on in his life. Let the fucking guy break down and try to talk to his friends about it without you seeing that as a way to get into him and start changing his mind on his marriage. Fuck off. Don't do that. Just don't do that. And what's going on this entire time is we just get to have Jax keep spinning this and spinning this and spinning this. And eventually he's going to say something fucking stupid. And he does.
Yes, he does, because he starts talking, trying to relate or trying to be the voice of reason. I don't know. He brings it back to drinking again. And he goes, am I causing her to drink? And the thing that he says that gets him in a hole, he's like, my marriage is on the fence too. Because he was talking to Jess and he says to him, you're the last person I would take marriage advice from. That's actually a smart move. That's good. You shouldn't. If you're going to go to anybody.
That part of the sentence, that's where you should have cut the sentence off. That is where the sentence should be cut off. No, he didn't say my marriage is falling apart too. He said your marriage is falling apart too.
No, he said like your marriage is on the fence too.
Too. Yes. All right. On the fence too. And the fact that he did that was a Freudian slip. He did not mean to say that, because everything else that he was saying so far in this conversation was trying to reel it back in, trying to put people in the good graces of Brittany, trying to say, you know what, maybe I fucked up last night. I'm going to be a better husband. It's what Jax does every year. I mean, we saw him on the VPR reunions. You see that little clip every single year. He talks about working on himself, working on himself, working on himself. He's not working on himself. He just likes to say that and try to convince people that he is. This is what he's doing right now in real time, except he got a little too carried away and he let something slip out there.
Yep. And all he does after that, like you said, is backpedal. And he's like, no, we're great. We're so great. Everything's solid. It's just a speed bump, just a rough patch. We're a 1950s marriage. We don't believe in divorce or separation.
Just fucking crazy.
Probably shouldn't have said that, because did you jinx it? I don't know. Is that why you're separated, you moron?
Well, thankfully, Jason's sitting there and he's listening to everything, and he hasn't really said much so far. He's just observing, and then he finally sees something, a little crack, and he can go after it.
Yeah, he goes, why did you say 2?
Great play. Yep, it's just a great play.
You said 2. No, I didn't. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did.
Jack's panic mode, just the fucking panic throttle. He starts losing his mind.
God.
The one thing I'll give Jesse credit for is his confessional after this. He recognizes Jax's marriage, and he's not the person to go to for advice in this, but he is somebody that has gone through it. And he says, Jax needs to make the changes that I made too late. So he's aware that, and this is the big picture of this marriage between Jesse and Michelle that should not be glossed over, because Michelle's being an asshole right now. There's a reason that she was pushed away. I'm not saying that is vindication for stepping out and texting other dudes and sending sexy feet pics to Tarantino. But as he pointed out, he made the changes too late. So he was a piece of shit for a while. She's being a piece of shit now. It's two people that they're too far apart. Like he said, I'm now chasing after her and she just keeps getting too far away from me. That's what happened. He was too far away early on. The minute he decided that he wanted to fix things, it was too late for her. She's already out. So the self-awareness there, and again, it's the confessional weeks or a month later, so who knows, hindsight's a mofo. But I did appreciate that at least he's like, yeah, I made these changes too late. That's on me. Or at least he didn't say that. If he does say that, I'll give him props.
He implied it, yeah.
Yeah, so look, all in all, Great episode.
Great up.
Great show. Jax is just a steaming pile of shit.
Yeah.
And I can't believe he gets away with talking to Brittany like that. Like it just kind of, it sucks to watch, dude.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, it's just not fun to watch. But
No.
let's wrap this bad boy up with some preguntas.
Then we got the question master is back.
Darn right.
Darn
Back on
right.
my rightful throne, baby. So let's jump right in. Up first, Janet is the biggest villain on the show. Do you agree? From Lem Vibes. Yes, I do. I think that she's the biggest villain because she's still hiding behind the mask of I'm nice and I'm cool and I'm not a villain, because Jax we know is the villain.
Yeah, I think Jax is still the biggest villain, but Janet's trying, and she's trying too hard, and she doesn't actually know how to play. And look, it's only going to get worse for her. If you're going to be able to sit there and you're going to cry that Zack posted something implying that he may have been at Bear Lake, and this whole thing is going to keep you up all night, you are not going to be able to handle Dodie when you get home.
No.
You are not going to be able to handle that, and you still have to answer for those things. So we still are going to get some sort of fiery ending to the season, because I imagine it's probably over the next 3 episodes. What is this, the 9th? I imagine they probably have 12 episodes-ish, maybe even 10, who knows? At some point, you're going to have to deal with the Dodie of it all, and you're not going to be able to handle that.
No, and we called that out a couple of weeks ago when she started picking on Dodie. We're like, do you really want to start this fight? Like, I don't think that you're ready for what Dodie brings to the table.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't think you're prepared for reality. You might know Dodie off TV. You've never been in the ring with her, and I don't think you want to step. And
Nope.
She's going to find out quick. But from Rainy, I got to ask this one. Do we think Danny is maybe secretly kind of a monster? Not that serious, just a theory. No. Based on what?
No. No, that's a crazy question. I read that question. I just don't think so. I think that Ray_Knee, I think you're just trying to drum up some shit. And until we see anything, why don't you back off of Danny? He's a sweet boy.
I saw the one that you're laughing at Los.
Yeah.
It's just I'm going to show it to the screen. It's Jesse and Danny.
Jesse and Danny looking into each other's eyes after a hug, and he just puts question marks over it.
Is he implying that is there sexual tension? Is that the implication?
Los, that's a good question. I think maybe there is a little sexual tension there.
There might be a little sexual tension there. They are looking longingly into each other's eyes. Thank you for the screenshot, Los. Los is back.
Great question, Los.
Los comes back with a haymaker. Well done, sir. From Holly Tug. Not really a question, but watching Jack speak so ugly to Brittany is so hard to watch. Thank you for pointing that out. We firmly agree. From Jamie Gibbs. Love this one. How often should bros have a good cry sesh? And let me tell you, if you're feeling it, let it out. As a dude, I'm sick of dudes getting judged for tearing up and letting it flow.
Yeah.
Just cry. A good cry will make you feel so much better.
Doesn't have to be scheduled. Could be a movie that brings it on. Maybe a really sad TikTok. Yeah. No.
Songs.
Movies.
Songs fucking smoke me.
Well,
songs
usually
and
songs
movies.
Songs in movies.
Oh, that's a whole different level. I'm talking about both separately, but you give me a song during like the right time in a movie, I'm toast. What I cried at, like, it's embarrassing at this point. No, it's not. It is not embarrassing. I'm counterproductive. This is what's ingrained in our heads. I was watching. Poppy and I went to go see If. It's the new Imaginary Friends movie with Ryan Reynolds. First of all, if you haven't seen this movie, it was a good movie, but it is very sad. It starts out sad and it stays sad the whole time. I think I cried 3 times. And then we got done the movie, and Poppy and I, we FaceTimed Dev, and she was like, "Oh, like, was it good?" I'm like, "Yeah, it was kind of sad." She's like, "Oh, did you guys cry?" And Poppy's like, "I almost did." I was like, "Yeah, like 3 times." Poppy was tougher than me. I couldn't hold it.
I thought you were gonna say that Poppy hopped on the phone. She's like, "Dad cried like 10 times."
Yeah, Dad was sobbing like a little bitch the whole time. No. But that's my point. For dudes, if you gotta cry, man, just cry. And if people judge you for it, fuck them. Any guy that's not masculine enough or tough enough to let a tear out, he's faking it. He's insecure. I would argue that you're a bigger bitch if you're unable to cry.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's my take. But the last one, where'd it go? I saw it. Damn it. Oh, this is just a fun one to end it with, because I have an answer for you, Christy Jedlicki Steele. Where would you and Dev go for a baby moon, and would you go with friends or not? No, we would not go with friends. I love my friends dearly. They're not invited, and they weren't
no.
invited. We went to Italy as our honeymoon / baby moon. Solo, me and Dev, one-on-one. Lovely time, lovely trip. Loved every minute of it. No, Shooter was not there. He would have ruined it. So
You were missing one thing on that trip, though, and it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
it was Poppy.
Sorry. Yeah, that's a nice way to put it.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Mhm.
I was gonna say the
Yep.
leather jacket. You knew what I was
No,
doing.
I know.
Damn
I
it.
know what you were doing. But yeah,
Damn it.
Poppy would have made that the perfect trip. But yes, the leather jacket still sits in Montepulciano. If somebody finds that leather jacket and buys it for me, somebody offered, and I told them to keep their money and spend on themselves, which is
Yep.
very sweet.
Yeah.
But they were also not going to Montepulciano. If you go to Montepulciano and you pass a store with a fucking badass like bomber jacket with the fuzz, it looks like straight out of Masters of the Air, and you see that jacket, buy that jacket. I will Venmo you back.
Well,
That's how I'll do it.
I might be going to Italy later in the year. So
Oh, wait,
if I do and I go there, I will buy it and I will take a sexy pic for you.
No, because then I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna keep it and wear it around in front of me.
I'm gonna wear
That's
it
not
every time
cool.
that we
I
record.
know you will. I know this move. And then, like, 2 years later, you're gonna wrap it up and give it to me for Christmas. I know you way too well. But oof, that's all I got. You got anything else?
Nope.
Remote sessions are finished
Remote are done. We're good.
until June 7th because Poppy made the All-Star team. We got an All-Star tournament, baby. So I'll be
Hell
back.
yeah, baby.
So we'll be doing remote recordings then. But
June 7th is a Friday.
yeah, 7. Oh yeah, so we won't even have
you're
to.
good.
That's a good
Yeah.
point. Yep,
Yeah.
it's that weekend. So yeah, we're good. But last thing, remember to sign up for for Brav Bros members. Link is in the bio or at the bottom of this episode to sign up. $5 for the month, $50 for the year. We are getting close to that we're past 150 now. So we're climbing to 250, and then we will have our rom-com episodes, which we're really excited about. We love rom-coms, and we want to know which ones you want us to watch because it'll be interesting to see what the public, our audience, what our audience wants us to watch.
Yep.
Fuck
What
the
our
public.
members,
Just
what
about
our
our audience. Our members, our Brav Bro members. So go click that link, sign up, and we will see you soon. Anything else, Shoots?
Nope. Have a great weekend.
Brav Bros are out of here.
Later.